Hey guys, Shyla Colt here, doing a sort of a bi-weekly wrap-up. I am combining the 2 weeks because last week and this week have just been so hectic. I could sum them up with the phrase, what had happened was, and the answer, snow days and delays. Because my children have been home and having to go to school later and being picked up at such awkward hours, it has completely wrecked my writing and reading schedule. So I just didn't have as much to talk about as I normally do. I also haven't had a chance to talk to you about the second game that I'm doing this year, which is Monopoly. And because I'm doing Monopoly, you will see that I talk about my books in reference to the different categories that I have chosen. Later on this week, I will be doing a Monopoly video, so it will make a lot more sense, but for now, just hang in there with me. So let's talk about what I actually have read so far this month. The first book I actually did read was Full Moon by Jim Butcher. That is book number 2 in the Dresden Files series. I love it. I adore it. I love the way Jim Butcher writes. This book was just as excellent as the first book, which was exciting because sometimes when you start getting further into a series, it slacks off, and this is the exact opposite. He keeps building the world. He keeps explaining more to us who the lead character, Harry Dresden, is. I'm in love with his writing. He also has this way of putting all the pieces in front of you, just like with a really good horror movie. All the clues are there, but you still don't put them together until the very end, which makes for a crazy twist. In this particular book, Harry Dresden, who is a wizard who happens to work for a supernatural sector of the police force who basically investigate all the questionable deaths and murders. He is back on the job again, and this time it has to do with werewolves. I don't want to give anything away, so let's be very vague with it. I really love the adventure he took us on. I really enjoyed the new characters he introduced. I like the way that we got to see a little bit more of sort of like shapeshifters. And he went so far as to give you multiple ways that someone could become a shapeshifter or maintain shapeshifting. It was just incredibly fascinating. This particular story for me did lag in certain parts, and I was super frustrated with the policewoman that he works with. I felt like she was so hard to the point of, you know, he's writing her that way just to cause friction, where there could be friction but maybe not to the extreme because she has no flex to her. And I'm really hoping that we'll see a little bit of bending as the series goes on, and it could show growth, because right now, just from the last book, she seems like such a static character. She's such a one-note character, and seeing everything that she has and experiencing all the things she experiences, it doesn't make sense that she would remain so rigid, because she knows things aren't just black and white. She can see all the different shades of gray. So that was what made it a 4.5 star for me. But if you've never read Harry Dresden, I highly recommend it, especially if you love fantasy or urban fantasy. It is a fantastic series. I also have started doing something a little bit different because it's one of my categories on Monopoly. I read fan fiction, and I'm going to start talking about it. Why? Because sometimes that's what I want to read, and there's nothing I love better than when somebody turns a character on their ear if it's explained well. Like if you're pairing two unlikely pairings, but you've written it so well that it makes sense. I don't know, it makes me happy. I really, really love that. So I read The Dead of Time by Shaya, or Shaya, I'm not sure how she pronounces it. And in this one, Hermione finds a way to bring Sirius back from the Veil. Her actions change the rest of the war. Little does she know, her spell restoring him to life provokes magic she doesn't understand and sets her on a path that ends with a time turner. I really enjoyed this one. It was a 4-star read for me. It was 727,059 words. There was some twist. It was interesting seeing their take on Hermione and seeing what would happen to her if she was thrust not only into the past, but separated from Ron and Harry, so that she really grows on her own and she sees characters in a completely different light. And I like the Marauders, so you're getting to go back in time and see them, why they are the way that they are, what made them become who they were, and how they interacted with Hermione, and then how that ripples forward into the future. I had a really good time reading this one, and I think Shaya is a fantastic fan fiction writer. It was very well done. which brings me to my third thing that I actually finished reading so far this month, which was Storm of Yesterday, again by Shyalani. And in this one, hunted by Voldemort, Hermione and Harry make a last stand in Godric's Hollow. When the boy who lives no more, Hermione is thrown back into time with another battle where she has a chance to save not only Harry, but another Potter. This had some twist in it that I didn't see. It was a 4-star read for me because there were some things that I was just kind of not in love with, and there were some places I felt like it lagged. But I really did enjoy seeing Hermione thrust in the past and then getting to see her in a different light and really getting to see how much she truly did love Harry even when she was in a time that was sort of separate from her Harry. I thought it was well thought out and it was very interesting. It was a take that I hadn't seen done before. I enjoyed it. It was 132,000 words. If you like Harry Potter fan fiction and you like strange pairings, which for some reason I seem to be in a mood for right now, I highly recommend those two. I will put links to that particular writer below, so if you want to check out what she has, you could do that. And sad to say that those are the only 3 things that I have finished so far, but I also have some that I'm currently reading, and one of them is Sparrow Delaney by Suzanne Harper, which is really interesting and caught my eye because you have basically a family full of mediums. Each has their own particular talent and they do readings for a living. Well, the youngest daughter, Sparrow, who's supposed to be the end-all be-all because she's the 7th daughter of a 7th daughter, pretends that she doesn't have powers when really she does, but she doesn't want to live her life like her family. So you're watching her pretend not to have powers and trying to deal with her spiritual guide. She has 3 of them who are trying to lead her through her life, and it's very interesting because there's a coming of age story there. There's lessons about being who you are, and I'm interested to see where this is gonna go. I'm like not even a third into this. I'm really behind, but I am enjoying it and it's pretty interesting. I'm also reading the next Dresden Files book, which is Jim Butcher's Grave Peril. I am not that far into it, like 50 pages, but we've already had a lot of action. I'm also being introduced to a new character, and we're going into the Never Never, which is like the supernatural world, which is sort of parallel to ours, so you can pierce the veil and then go in, and then we're getting to see more of his past, which I'm fascinated with because so far we've been teased with his past. We get snippets of it, but now we're really diving into events that have happened. I'm really enjoying that so far as well. So that's what I am currently reading, these 2 books. I'm sort of going back and forth, and I'm doing a lot of writing because I'm trying to catch up from all the crazy snow days, which is why this is my wrap up versus how I usually have a vlog, but I just didn't get to film at all over the past 2 weeks. I'm also really proud of myself because today I actually went ahead and donated all my books. I went into a half-price bookstore and I came out with nothing, which was really hard. Now, if you are following me, you know that I am also doing book jail, and I'm super close to getting a book. As a matter of fact, when I post this video, I will get 2 more slots closer. I think I'm like 12 away from a new book, and I plan on getting The Cruel Prince by Holly Black because I was looking forward to that release this month, I think more so than any other books, and waiting has been killing me, but I'm determined to stick with my guns about earning the new books that I get. And so I'm proud of myself, but I'm also kind of bummed out because I would have loved to have had that book pre-ordered and waiting for me, but I'm sticking with my guns, and my bookshelf is already looking better with the books that I did end up donating. That is me in a nutshell, caught up. And I'm really looking forward to talking to you guys about Monopoly because it is also really helping me trim down my TBRs. If you are enjoying my videos, please make sure you like and subscribe so you will be alerted every time I post something new. I will see you guys with another video soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.